latest addition to my classic Doctor Who collection, 1975's Genesis of the Daleks. Usually when talking about classic Doctor Who episodes, I have seen people mention that this one is one of their favourites, and even seen it ranked a few times as the best Dalek story ever done. Which, yeah, I can see that. But anyway, let's go over it. So, weirdly enough, Genesis of the Daleks. This is a fourth Doctor story, i.e. Tom Baker in the role of the Doctor, where he and his companions Sarah Jane Smith, played by Elizabeth Sladen, and Harry Sullivan, played by Ian Marser, get recruited by the Time Lords for a mission. The Time Lords have seen the kind of destruction and terror that the Daleks will have created and that they ultimately will become. So they try to prevent that by sending the Doctor and his friends back in time to the creation of the Daleks on Skaro. Now, they are sent back there to Skaro to try and prevent the creation of the Daleks or find a way of setting the Daleks down a different path, where they encounter, for the first time on TV at that time, Davros, the creator of the Daleks, played at this point by actor Michael Wisher. Weirdly enough, I think this episode kind of reminded me of Star Wars, which was a little bit odd if you think about it, because this particular story is from 1975, and Star Wars wouldn't become a thing until 1977. So, hey, Doctor Who tried Star Wars before Star Wars did, but I don't mean Star Wars like the lightsaber fights and everything. I mean kind of like the politics of it, because I know it's a war between the Khalids and the Thals over their planet of Skaro, and to me it kind of felt after a while that the Khalids were kind of like the Empire, ruthless dictators, just wanting to exterminate the Thals at any cost. Whereas the Thals, while they weren't quite as pacifist as they were in 1963, I did think of them more as kind of the resistance. I mean, they did have some elements of the Empire as well, given that they want to try and launch a missile to wipe out the Khalids before the Khalids can really kill them. But once again, the group who do survive and eventually are fighting against them, they were very much like the Resistance. So, hey, Doctor Who did something Star Wars-esque before Star Wars was a thing. But, yeah, ultimately this comes down to the first appearance of Davros, played by Michael Wisher. And while the prosthetics does look a little bit odd, on him, you still can't deny or ignore that this was the first appearance of Davros, one of the villains of the show who would become a classic. And this was the very first time he appeared, the first time we got to see him. But one other reason why I think this is classified as one of the best Dalek or Doctor Who episodes of all time is that it presented a very interesting question. And the question is this, as quoted from Tom Baker: if someone who knew the future pointed out a child to you and told you that that child would grow up totally evil, to be a ruthless dictator who would destroy millions of lives, could you then kill that child? And ultimately, I don't think Doctor Who has ever truly answered that question. I mean, they've come... Don't get me wrong, this is a question that they always try to come back to, but still, it's one that's left rather open-ended, because it's dual motive. I mean, if you killed that child, yeah, you'd have saved the future, you'd have stopped millions of people from suffering, but you'd still have blood on your hands. And if you didn't kill that child, you wouldn't have blood on your hands right there, but you would have for years to come. There's really no good way to look into it. And of course, Davros would eventually return, because although he wouldn't actually return for another 9 years, I mean, this particular story was from 1975, and Davros wouldn't actually appear again until 1979 with Destiny of the Daleks. But then it also shows the kind of downside of his creations, as he has created a creature that he is sure will conquer the universe and become the dominant form of life. And yet, in the end, they say, "You are not one of us. You are not a Dalek. Therefore, you must die." Which is kind of humorous, but also definitely fits in with the Daleks we've come to know over the years, and would come to know for years to come. So yeah, I had this we had this episode in our family for a while. Eventually, we had to get rid of it, but I got it back. And Genesis of the Daleks from 1975. This is classified as one of the best episodes of the show overall, of Doctor Who period. And yeah, I can definitely see why. And I don't know, it might work as one of my favourites. I've seen it, watched it through again once, and yeah, I do think it's one of those great episodes. I mean, I think it's definitely among some of the best classic episodes that I've seen, given my classic collection is slowly building, but we'll wait and see. So, Genesis of the Daleks from 1975. Yeah, still a pretty good episode years later, and still with a question that haunts us to this day. Anyway, have to see what classic episode I get next. Till then, see ya.